Well, we now reach the part of Nova where we're going to be getting into some very serious patch training. And I wanted to share with you today that I received a gift. It's hanging on the wall in back of me, probably next to Tony Stark and Iron Man and Marvel movies. My favorite things to watch growing up would be Star Trek. In fact, I would attribute one of the driving forces in my life to wanting to be an inventor and explore new things would be Star Trek. And so growing up, I loved it. A little bit of trivia, even in college, my nickname was Spock. So with that said, today we are boldly going to go to talk about things with X39 training and other things in a direction that we haven't gone before. I think that you are really going to enjoy it. We have a tremendous amount of material that we're going to cover today. So if you don't have a notepad and pen already, I would suggest that you get one handy. There's a lot of things here that you're probably going to want to write down. And then, of course, you have some time to refer back to this recording. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So first thing first, we're going to start with a disclaimer. And this is a reminder that I am not a medical doctor. And most of the people in our LifeWave community, you, our brand partners, are not medical doctors. If you are a medical doctor or healthcare practitioner, I hope that you will find this information useful. It may give you a new way of looking at treating a number of different conditions. For those of you, our brand partners that are not healthcare practitioners, I would advise that you not use this information to self-treat or act as a doctor and treat someone else. This is for informational purposes only. Take this information to your healthcare provider and let your healthcare provider decide what is going to be the best course of action. Also important to remind all of you that we are not making any medical recommendations. We are not suggesting that our products can be used to treat or cure any type of different health condition. Again, this information is for informational purposes only. Our patch products and our aromatherapy mists are general wellness products. So when I provide any recommendations for use of our products, it's to support general wellness. Other recommendations you can take to your healthcare provider and let them decide if these options are right for yours or someone else's health condition. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing, since we're going to focus on X39 today and what patch products you can use with it in specific cases, how you use those patch products, how you might combine a number of lifestyle elements to augment and improve your results, it'd be good to have an overview of what X39 does. So the first thing is that we know we're using X39 to elevate copper peptide with light. So for those of you that are new, our patch products stimulate the skin with light to do specific things. In the case of X39, we have multiple clinical studies that show that the patch elevates blood levels of copper peptide. This is perhaps easily one of the most important peptides in the entire human body. You can make an argument it's the single most important peptide, but there's still many peptides yet to be discovered. But it's certainly one of the most important ones that's known today. So why is it? Well, copper peptide will reset thousands of genes to a more youthful state, about 1/3. So we get a partial restoration of youth by using X39 and elevating copper peptide. That is really exciting. So we're going to talk about how to take your results even further today. And of course, we know one of the many benefits of copper peptide is that it mobilizes stem cells. When we get to be over the age of 60, stem cell activity in the body will drop over 60%. So by restoring copper peptide to youthful levels, we can mobilize stem cells and get those stem cells to act like younger, healthier cells. Nothing in the body is going to happen without energy or communication. This is a theme we're going to continue to come back to, that the energy in the body, the energetic systems, the flow of energy, and communications is what controls the biochemistry. So there are certainly drugs that are used to treat different medical conditions. People like myself take vitamin supplements to support and improve health, but none of those things work without communications and without energy metabolism. So a very, very important part of copper peptide and other LifeWave patches, by the way, is that it helps to support proper metabolism of energy in the cell, converting fat to energy. Another thing we need to do over the entire course of our lives is manage inflammation. Now, inflammation is not a bad thing. It gets a bad rap. Because we usually associate inflammation with pain. And that's not always the case. We need inflammation to break down healthy tissue so we can, or rather damaged tissue, so we can make way for new healthy tissue. So we need to manage the inflammatory process. We don't want to get rid of inflammation. That wouldn't be a good thing. Another thing X39 does is it supports recovery, as does X49. And so that means that if you are trying to recover from an injury, you're trying to recover from exercise, X39 is going to be invaluable for that. And of course, with all these benefits and resetting genes to a more youthful state, this means that we're going to have an improved state of overall wellness and feelings of well-being. So this is why X39 is our flagship product. It's why you should always start and focus in your business on promoting X39. It is the first patch we want new customers or new brand partners using. And then they can focus on and try other things. But for your business building, definitely focus on X39 and get people started on that. They'll have fantastic results. Okay, now because we are going to be focusing on Nova today, on doing business heart to heart. That means putting other people's needs first, whether or not it be from a product perspective or in business. We want to think about, what does this person that we're talking to need right now in their life? Do they need improved energy? Are they suffering with pain? Do they need a better night's sleep? What's going on in their lives where you can help to facilitate their healing process and get them on that healing journey? So with all the benefits of X39, what else might we do? What other LifeWave products could you use? What other lifestyle changes could you make, and why? So let's start by talking about something that is going to affect at least over 70% of the population and affects everyone at some time. How would you help someone that is in pain? So let's talk about the definition of what pain is. And what's interesting is that we can compare the Western and Eastern definitions, and they describe exactly the same phenomena. So with a Western definition, Western medicine, we might say that the tissue has been damaged, and this results in a change of tissue conductivity. There's an imbalance in electrolytes. There's an increase in oxidative stress and inflammatory markers. And as a result, we get a blockage in the ability of the nervous system to create proper signaling, and the brain interprets this as pain. Okay. When we describe pain from the perspective of Eastern medicine, it's also, of course, related to a damage of tissue, but this is described as a blockage to the flow of chi, or life energy. So we're really talking about the same thing here, is that something in the body changes, so energy cannot flow freely, and the body interprets this as pain. And this is a good thing, because if the tissue is damaged, we don't want to continue to damage it even further and create further problems. So the solution then becomes self-evident. We don't want to try to cover up the pain. We don't want an analgesic, not that they're not useful in emergencies, but we don't want to live off of taking drugs on a regular basis. So the solution then is we need to restore the proper flow of energy. This is going to mean that we need to normalize tissue conductivity. So we're going to talk about how to do that. We also want to manage the inflammatory process. As part of stem cell activity in the body, we need inflammation. It attracts stem cells to damage tissue. But if someone is dealing with chronic pain, they've got too much inflammation in their body. We've got to get it under control. Again, in chronic pain, there could be a compromised immune system response. Also, something very, very important that should not be overlooked is proper hydration. Many times, especially as people get older, it's a reduction in hydration that can lead to increases in pain. We can't make energy without water. We can't detoxify without water. Dead tissue will accumulate without proper hydration. So do not overlook proper hydration when it comes to pain relief. All right, so where would we start in relieving pain? It's actually extraordinarily simple. From the perspective of using the patches, you can start with X39 either on the back of the neck or below the belly button, and then an Eon patch at the point of pain. Now, many people will get pain relief just with X39. If it's a chronic injury, though, they've had it for a long time, I'd recommend putting an Eon patch at the point of pain. They may start feeling results within seconds, within 2 to 3 minutes, and some very dramatic improvements within about 20 minutes. We know this from our clinical studies. Another way that we can manage the inflammatory response for better pain reduction is with glutathione. When we elevate glutathione, not only will it detoxify the body, but glutathione as an antioxidant will help to reduce inflammatory markers in the body. So if we have a condition like Parkinson's disease, which is associated with reduced glutathione levels, or Alzheimer's or MS, elevating glutathione can help to reduce pain. Now, we're not claiming that glutathione is used to treat those diseases. What we're talking about is using X39 and glutathione to manage inflammation. IceWave, of course, was our very first pain relief product. I recommend you put IceWave on the bottom of the feet, or you can follow the instructions, put it around the point of pain, use the clock method. We're not going to get into those details here. So again, let's say that you're experiencing pain. you have someone that you're working with, I would definitely give them a glass of clean water, make sure they're properly hydrated, and also a regular program of electrolytes. So if you've got a chronic pain, not an acute pain from banging your knee or elbow, if you have a chronic pain, I would definitely recommend taking regular supplementation of potassium and magnesium. Potassium as a powder, 1,000 milligrams a day. Magnesium, 200, 400 milligrams or more per day. And magnesium threonate or magnesium taurate are excellent forms of magnesium, especially when it comes to pain relief. Interesting thing about copper. We always recommend copper because X39 elevates copper peptide. So you want to have copper in the body, and you can get copper from eating liver, from drinking wheatgrass, from consuming dark chocolate, lots of great sources of natural copper, seafood. But anyway, what has been shown in clinical studies is that people with elevated levels of copper tolerate pain better. Interesting that copper bracelets have been known to be a pain reliever. The Romans used to put water into copper bowls and found that it killed infections and was a great pain reliever. People tolerate pain better with elevated levels of copper. NAC is N-acetylcysteine. It's an amino acid, and it is a precursor to glutathione, as well as other things. So if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you may not be getting enough NAC. I'd recommend you take that to support your glutathione levels. Also, taking NAC is a very powerful antiviral. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. Curcumin is a natural pain reliever, natural anti-inflammatory. So if you're suffering with chronic pain, this is an option that you have, taking a curcumin supplement. Olive oil is remarkable. Olive oil could very well be the reason why the Mediterranean diet has so many of the benefits that it does. People that live after 100 have been known to consume olive oil on a regular basis, and now it's known why. Olive oil is a powerful gene modulator, resets genes to a more youthful state, and may in fact do that even better than resveratrol. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, so it's a natural anti-inflammatory. Nitric oxide, we're going to talk about a little bit later about how to elevate that. But interesting, in the Nobel Prize winning work on nitric oxide, it was found that it can reduce pain. It's a very powerful signaling molecule. Things like the combination of garlic and vitamin C will triple nitric oxide levels. Excuse me. So there's a number of good reasons why you'd want to elevate nitric oxide and improve circulation. But in this case, you could use it as a part of an overall pain management program. By far, though, the most rapid relief you're going to get with pain relief is with the patches, bar none. Nothing else here will reduce pain faster. These are all things that you have options on including in your life that will support pain relief. All right. Now, what would we do with someone that has low energy? This is a huge segment of the population today. And it's one of the reasons why products like Red Bull and Rockstar, these monster drinks and so forth, why they're so popular. People want a boost in energy. And caffeine is just simply not the way to do that. If you enjoy coffee or tea, nothing wrong with that. But if you are dependent on caffeine for bringing up your energy levels, this is an issue. It is not going to be good in the long term. It creates way too much stress on the cells. So What are some of the reasons why people are low in energy? And this can start early on in life and become very, very common after the age of 40. And the reason is that energy production is linked to how well your body makes energy, and that part of the cell is called the mitochondria. There's even a name for it, and it's called mitochondrial dysfunction. So your cells are not doing a good job of converting fat to energy, our preferred energy source. So this is the first thing that we want to look at. How can we improve the way our body converts food over into energy? It is a natural energy boost. Lack of hydration. As we age, the amount of water in the cells decrease. And if we don't have enough water, we can't make energy. It's as simple as that. We can't detox. So we want to get enough water in the diet. Poor diet, people consuming processed food, a lack of vitamins, a lack of minerals, too much sugar, too much synthetic ingredients are a reason for low energy. So you want to look at your diet. Vitamin and mineral deficiencies like magnesium. Of course, too many stimulants, not getting enough sleep. If you're only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep per night, then it's obvious where one of the problems is. If you're overweight, that's naturally going to affect your energy metabolism. One follows the other. And of course, the hormones are all connected to this. So the solutions then are pretty obvious. Instead of taking a stimulant, we want to get the body back to where we were in our teens and 20s. Get that mitochondria functioning the way that it should and converting more of our body fat over to energy. We want to make sure we're including enough water in our diet, clean up our diet, speak with a nutritionist or a healthcare practitioner about how to do that if you're not sure. Regular exercise. Sometimes we think that exercise makes us tired and fatigued. And, no question about it. You go into the gym and you have a hard workout, you're going to be tired afterwards. But getting regular exercise has a dramatic effect on your genes. It's going to help to reset some of your genes to a more youthful state. You're going to lose some of that unwanted body fat. You're going to get stronger, and you're going to end up having more energy. How many of you would like to make more money this year? Richard Branson, the multi-billionaire, was asked, what can people do to have more energy in the day, have more time? And the number one thing he said was exercise. Smart man in many ways. Supplement where needed. And we're going to talk about what supplements you can take to support energy metabolism. Reduce or eliminate stimulants, especially if you have a problem with taking too much caffeine. And we want to get your sleep back. So get 7 hours, 8 hours of sleep each day so you can be well rested. So how do we do that? Well, we found very early on, going back to 2002, 2003, with starting clinical studies on the energy patches, was that it could increase fat burning by about 23%. We did one of our early studies in 2005 with Dr. Frank Schallenberger, who I have an enormous amount of respect for in his work with ozone therapy, and many of you may know who he is. So we were very fortunate to do that study with him. So you'd want to start with X39 and the energy patches. Energy patches can be applied about anywhere, no special places, but you could start out on the wrists and use that location. Glutathione is useful in energy production in that it will help to detoxify the body and get inflammation under control. Of course, we want to use silent nights to improve our melatonin so we can sleep longer and deeper. which is shown in our clinicals. And now you have new tools with Shine and Dream. Shine is going to be an easy way to start your day, boosting energy. And Dream, of course, is going to improve the quality of your sleep. Now, one of the things that's been found, I love this combination for so many reasons, lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine. It was discovered by Dr. Bruce Ames that this combination would improve mitochondrial function. It's going to help to facilitate fat burning. So many people can take lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine and lose body fat. Wouldn't be the only thing I would do, but it's certainly a great way to support overall energy metabolism in the body. So lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine, maybe 300 milligrams a day of lipoic acid, 500 milligrams a day of acetyl L-carnitine. You get some other benefits. Lipoic acid helps to balance blood sugar. Acetyl L-carnitine is wonderful for improving cognitive function. So there are many benefits to taking this combination. Of course, we want to get enough water daily, reduce sugar and refined carbs, and exercise. Also want to make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes in the body and getting your vitamins and minerals that are needed. Reevaluate your diet when you're looking at how to improve energy. Get that sugar out of your diet. Doesn't have to be complete. It's totally okay with having maybe an unhealthy snack a few times a week, but that's only if the majority of your diet is okay. And for sleep, we've got a section on that today. I'll go into it in a lot more detail, but just a very quick tip on improving sleep is that you want to sleep in a room that's dark because light can keep you awake, and get your feet warm. It's been shown by researchers that having warm feet improves the quality of sleep. Okay, now, how would we help someone that's having a problem sleeping? That one thing follows the other here. So first, there's a lot of reasons as to why someone might be having a problem sleeping. It could be just as simple as something like aging, change in hormones could be doing it, or it could be a non-serious or serious medical condition. So again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'd recommend that if you're having a problem sleeping, go to your healthcare practitioner, see what your options might be, and you can take some of these recommendations here, see what your doctor thinks. So in some cultures, let's say like over in Spain, people like to eat very, very late at night. Same as over in the Middle East. This is a cultural thing, and it could be leading to unwanted weight gain and not being able to sleep. So you should have a gap of at least a few hours of eating before you're going to sleep, at least 2-3 hours. You don't want digestion to interfere with your quality of sleep. Could be a vitamin or mineral deficiency. For example, having a deficiency in magnesium can affect the quality of sleep. Having coffee late at night. I enjoy a cup of coffee every now and then, especially if I'm fortunate enough to be at a meeting in Italy where the coffee is incredible. I don't usually drink coffee, but I will enjoy a cup of Italian coffee. And of course, having that with dinner is a problem. I'm very caffeine sensitive, and it will keep me up at night. So if you're having a problem sleeping, you might want to look at, are you consuming tea or coffee at night? And again, are you sleeping in a dark room? Are you setting up the room where you have fresh air to breathe? What are your sleeping conditions like? So as long as this is not a medical condition, getting better sleep could be extremely simple for you. You may be able to get a better night's sleep starting tonight. This can have to do with getting your hormones back in check, making some lifestyle choices on your diet. There's some supplements that are fantastic to use with the patches. Exercise. If you get a hard workout during the day, your body is going to need energy at night to recover. You're going to sleep better. And again, sleeping in proper environment. So, of course, our go-to products are going to be X39 and Silent Nights. We were delighted to find out in one of our first clinical studies that we did with Dr. Melinda Connor on X39 is that most people the very first night got an improvement in their quality of sleep. So sometimes just using X39 alone, people are going to see their first 1 to 7 days that their sleep has improved. They might not need anything else. I would start, though, with Silent Nights because it elevates melatonin, and we have great clinical data on using Silent Nights to improve the quality of sleep. So that'd be a great combination. X39 during the day, Silent Nights at night. Alavita, if you're interested in our skincare system, which everyone should be, men and women alike, the Alavita patch will also improve the quality of sleep. So if you're buying X39 and Alavita for skincare, you're already using the Alavita patch at night. You may find that combination works great for you. Now, Eon, before X39 came out, I would have told you Eon was my favorite patch. And I use Eon today at night instead of during the day. I use X39 and X49 along with energy patches during the day, and I use Eon at night, most nights. And this is because Eon will reduce the stress on the nervous system and help to calm the body down. And so it may not necessarily make you fall asleep, but it definitely gets the body in the place where you want to rest and relax. So I would definitely recommend trying X39 during the day and Eon at night. And of course, using Shine and Dream. We've got phenomenal testimonials on using Dream and improving the quality of sleep. So all these things can work together. So if you've been having a problem sleeping, help is on the way. Now, there are some supplements that you can take to improve sleep that you can use with the patches. And sometimes sleep is associated with a calcium or magnesium deficiency. Magnesium threonate is a unique form of magnesium that relaxes the brain and relaxes the nervous system. This is, especially a problem today. People are on their phones and we're all busy, so it's tough to get our brain to calm down. Magnesium threonate is a great way to calm down and relax the brain. So you may find that using X39 and Eon and taking magnesium before bed will help you tremendously. Now, I've seen clinical studies where a issue with sleeping is associated with a calcium deficiency, and calcium and magnesium are often paired. So what that means is you should take calcium and magnesium together. And you can talk to your healthcare practitioner about what might be right for you. But it doesn't have to be a lot. It could be 200 or 300 milligrams of a natural calcium like AlgaCal and 200 milligrams of magnesium threonate. You may find that combination works very, very well for you. Now, taurine is interesting. I do a lot of research on taurine, and one of the reasons is that in the literature, it's not really well understood how taurine does what it does. It is a antioxidant and an amino acid, and it's made of methionine and cysteine. And my interest in taurine is that levels of taurine decline with age, and taurine is found in the brain, in the heart, and in men, it's found in testicles. So taurine, about 3 to 5 grams a day, can be used for men as a way of elevating testosterone. But taurine also helps to relax the nervous system. And so if you're having a problem sleeping, taking 1,000 or 2,000 milligrams of taurine may help improve your quality of sleep. And you could take the magnesium, calcium, and taurine together. Again, you want to talk to your doctor about that. And then some of these other recommendations that are here on the screen. And I'm making sure that I'm staying hydrated because this is a long training session. So I'll take a sip here from time to time to stay hydrated. Okay, let's get into something a little bit more serious where conventional medicine would say their only solution is surgery. Well, my response would be if you've got a loss of cartilage, how did the cartilage get there in the first place? Your body made it, right? So shouldn't we have a way of repairing the cartilage? What's going on here? Let's take a look at this in more depth. And today, it's irrefutable that stem cells can be used to make cartilage. That's already been proven in multiple studies. So we know that in the future, stem cell injections will be a way for people to have a non-surgical means for regrowing cartilage. But if you've got this problem, what can you do today? A good place to start with this is this a medical condition? And of course, I'm going to recommend that you talk to your doctor about this, your orthopedic surgeon or your natural healthcare provider, since I'm not a medical doctor. Is it a medical condition? So, for example, is this serious injury from playing a sport? Or is it part of the aging process? What's going on here? Well, some of the things you can talk to your doctor about is improving the stem cell activity in your body. A number of ways of doing that. For example, you already know one. Second one might be through hyperbaric oxygen. That will not reset the stem cells to a more youthful state, but what hyperbaric oxygen chambers do is increase the number of circulating stem cells. We also want to manage inflammation. If you have a reduction in cartilage, if you got a lot of knee pain from this, you definitely have chronic elevated levels of inflammation. Got to get that under control. You also need to have the correct type of protein to rebuild lost cartilage. And we'll talk about that. Using essential fatty acids is essential to the healing process, managing inflammation, getting those healthy fats, and then supplementing in a few cases. And of course, making sure you've got proper hours of sleep, 7 or 8 hours of sleep per day to give your body the time to heal. Okay, so no surprise here that X39 is going to be one of the products that you're going to use. And you're going to be placing that either behind the neck or below the belly button. It does not need to go on the knee. And as a matter of fact, it's not preferable because you want glutathione and preferably glutathione and eon around the knee. We have found anecdotally that people get phenomenal results using eon and glutathione at the knee. The way that you do this is you place the eon patch on the inside of the knee and the glutathione patch on the outside of the knee, so they're parallel to one another. This is going to help to reduce inflammation, restore range of motion, as well as some other benefits. Now, I had met a number of years ago a doctor by the name of Bernd Friedlander, and he's a chiropractor who was working with the San Francisco 49ers, and simply by elevating glutathione, vitamin C, and supplementing with collagen. In this case, it was a beef collagen from Argentina, that he found that he could regrow cartilage. This was almost 20 years ago, a little bit less than that. So he found through his practical experience that what orthopedic surgeons were taught, that you couldn't regrow cartilage, that it wasn't true, wasn't accurate. So collagen supplement, 10, 20 grams per day, can help to restore lost or damaged cartilage. You can also use a protein supplement called the master amino acid pattern. We don't have time to get into it here, but it's free-form amino acids, including the branch chain amino acids, and the protein synthesis on this combination is extraordinarily high. It's like 98 or 99%. This would compare to, let's say, animal protein that's maybe only 35% utilization. So you get a tremendous efficiency from using master amino acid pattern. Now, if you've got a serious condition, you're bone on bone, definitely you should talk to your doctor about taking oral and IV vitamin C. So maybe you go to your doctor twice a week for 2 10-gram, you get a 10-gram IV of vitamin C twice per week. Vitamin C is linked in clinical studies to regrowing cartilage. It's a trigger for repairing damaged collagen structures in the body. So it's essential that you get a high dose of vitamin C in your diet, let's say at least 1,000 milligrams once or twice or 3 times a day, along with IV. See what works for you. Definitely, I would take a copper supplement, 2.5 milligrams of copper glycinate once a day. If you're not getting enough copper in your diet, make sure that you have a cysteine in your diet. So if you're not getting enough eggs or dairy products in your diet, take an NAC supplement. Of course, we already talked about olive oil as a natural anti-inflammatory, and curcumin. These can help to be part of managing the inflammatory process and providing healing. By the way, if you're bone on bone, you have a significant loss of cartilage, and you have chronic inflammation, the inflammation is destroying your stem cells. It's the inflammatory cytokines that attract stem cells to an injury. So if the antioxidant system in the body is compromised, you have a poor diet, you're not elevating your antioxidants, and the inflammation runs out of control, you're not going to heal. So you have to get your inflammation under control, and you do that with natural anti-inflammatories, and you do that by elevating your antioxidants. Now, when the inflammation comes down, the stem cells can get to the injury and do their job. And stem cells will make collagen, and stem cells will definitely make cartilage. Okay. Now, what do you do if someone has acne? We actually did a study on this years ago, and the results were incredible. So if you're someone that's suffering with adult acne, or you live with a teenager, or you're a teenager on this conference right now and you're suffering with acne, I've got great news for you. You don't have to suffer with acne. Acne is definitely a medical condition. I am not a medical doctor, so take these recommendations and talk to your doctor about them. We know that acne is definitely linked to hormonal changes. If you're not healing, poor diet is a culprit. You want to evaluate your diet and your nutrition. And of course, we know acne is a bacterial infection. And this is incredibly useful information. This is like putting together, trying to solve a mystery, right? We've got all of our clues. Now we can solve the case. So first thing, speak with your doctor. and about getting the inflammatory response under control, improving your diet, getting the nutrition that you need to heal, and using some natural antibacterials. So what works in this case? Well, even for a teenager, using X39 and glutathione to detoxify the body, support a healthy immune response is going to be a great way to start. I'm definitely going to encourage here focusing on increasing glutathione levels. Because Alavita contains vitamin C, you can speak with your doctor about whether or not using Alavita would be right for you. But it contains vitamin C, and vitamin C is natural antibacterial. We definitely don't make any claims about using Alavita to treat acne because it's a medical condition. So this would just be to support the overall health of the skin. So I want to be really clear about that. Now, what could we use to kill the bacteria associated with acne and support the health of the skin? So think about it that way. We want to support the health of the skin. First thing to support glutathione levels is take a supplement of NAC, or make sure you're getting enough eggs and dairy products in your diet, unless, of course, you're allergic to them. So NAC, that might be 600 milligrams twice a day. That will do a nice job of helping to support glutathione. It's not going to elevate glutathione very quickly. For that, you'd use the glutathione patch. But it will help to support glutathione. Now, vitamin A is extremely important in the health of the skin, and there are many topical vitamin A products that are used in treating acne. But we're talking about oral vitamin A here, 10,000 to 25,000 international units or IUs per day. Many people will be able to get rid of acne just with vitamin A. It's that powerful. Make sure you don't take too much of it. 50,000 IUs of vitamin A per day it can be toxic. So you don't need a lot. I'd start with 10,000 IUs or whatever your doctor recommends. Vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams once or twice a day. Zinc, natural antibacterial, maybe 15 milligrams per day. Copper, natural antibacterial, 2.5 milligrams per day. Iodine, talk to your doctor. 1 milligram may be fine for you. 12 milligrams may be okay. Iodine can have adverse effects on the thyroid, and it can also be, of course, incredibly beneficial. So 1 milligram per day of iodine may be all you need. Oregano oil, incredible antibacterial, one of the best. You could take that dried or in oil form, oregano. And again, speak with a healthcare practitioner. It's definitely available over the counter, but oregano can be used as a treatment, natural treatment for acne. You also want to make sure you're getting enough soluble fiber, which is a prebiotic. In other words, soluble fiber is a food for the bacteria in your gut. So balancing out your probiotics is extremely important with acne, and that can be linked back to diet again. And then making sure that you're getting enough water to properly detoxify. That's a lot. There's other things that you could do, certainly. There's prescription medications, but I would definitely talk to your doctor about these natural options. They do work. Okay, so wrinkles. What do we do to reduce wrinkles? We all want to look young and healthy. This, of course, is a consequence of aging. Could be medical condition, could be too much exposure to sunlight, UV light. Some people have a problem making collagen. We'll talk about this a little bit. So if you've taken a collagen supplement and you don't see an improvement in your skin, or let's say that you use X39 and you're not seeing any results in the quality of your skin, I'm going to point you in a direction here today of something you probably hadn't thought of before, because the research is a little obscure. So we'll talk about that. Smoking, drinking too much definitely can age the skin. Poor diet, and lack of a skincare routine. If you're not exfoliating on a regular basis, adding moisturizers and nutrients to the skin, that could age your skin prematurely. So what do we do here? Well, first thing, this all goes back to mitochondrial function. We don't normally associate wrinkles with elevating energy in the cells, but how are we going to make collagen protein or elastin in the skin without having the cells making enough energy? So we want to improve the function of energy production in the cells, and preferably turn on collagen production. And one thing that we know is that stem cells do a phenomenal job at making collagen. You may also want to supplement with collagen or other protein. Make sure you've got the raw materials in your body to make the collagen in the first place. Definitely very, very high up there, I'd say eliminate any bad habits such as smoking or excessive drinking that could be contributing to the problem in the first place. If you have excessive wrinkling in the skin, it could be also associated with dehydration. So the skin is going to be a reflection of what's going on inside the body. And as we age, the amount of water in the body can decrease. This is because of a loss of collagen. So there's many good reasons, principally how long you want to live and what type of quality of life you want as you age is linked to hydration and collagen production. And of course, sleep has an enormous impact on the health and quality of the skin. So here's some places where you can start, where we have good clinical evidence. First, obviously, is with X39 and our Olivita system. We want to elevate glutathione. Glutathione is linked to collagen repair. Carnosine, most powerful anti-glycation nutrient known. So if you've got blood sugar issues, if your blood sugar is too high and you've got wrinkles, it's the high blood sugar that kills the nerves. It's high blood sugar levels that damage the collagen structures in the body. Carnosine can help to resolve that. And of course, Shine and Dream can improve your energy and help you get better sleep. So a few things you can do in addition would be take a collagen supplement, 10 grams, 20 grams per day. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams once or twice a day, because it triggers repair of damaged collagen. NAC, again, coming back to making sure you've got the raw materials in your body to make glutathione. Alpha lipoic acid, another wonderful antioxidant linked to the health of the skin. We know copper is found in the skin for good reason. And we want our stem cells to be able to activate with copper peptides, so we need copper. When we do exercise like resistance training, it elevates our growth hormone. And because growth hormone levels decline with age, when we exercise or we do intermittent fasting, we can naturally improve our growth hormone levels, and this is naturally going to improve the quality of our skin and getting proper hydration. There's one other thing here Let me go back. One other thing here I wanted to talk about, if you're using X39 now and you haven't seen a reduction in wrinkles, could be that you're genetically predisposed to having a problem making collagen. And this is actually linked to an inability of the body to make proline, which is an amino acid. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. Now, proline is a non-essential amino acid, and there's been work done by Dr. Matthias Rath that shows that the combination of lysine, proline, green tea, and vitamin C can completely block the ability of cancer cells to spread throughout the body. They don't kill the cancer, but it prevents the cancer from spreading. This also goes for viral infections. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit here, but supplementing with proline and also lysine may resolve this issue of wrinkles for you. It might be 2 grams per day of protein, 2 grams per day of lysine. You can talk to your doctor about it, but that would be a good place to start. Okay, so now how do we help someone with cognitive decline? This has been something that we have studied for over 10 years now, because it's perhaps one of the scariest consequences of aging. If you ask most people, they'd say, yeah, okay, if I start to have a problem with my eyesight or hearing, that's not going to be too fun, but I don't want my brain to go. What's the point of having a healthy body if your cognition has suffered? Some of this is a consequence of aging. Other times, again, this could be a very serious medical condition like Alzheimer's. So you want to take it seriously. You want to look at the diet because problems with cognition don't just happen. They happen for a reason. If you're not exercising, that could be a very serious problem when it has to do with cognitive decline. And lack of mental stimulation. People go into retirement, they stop working, they're not using their brain enough, and their mental faculties start to decline. So you got to exercise the brain. All right, so what's the solution here? Well, we've done a number of clinical studies, and of course, we've looked through the literature, and there are a number of things you can do to support the health and function of the brain. One of those things, again, is turn on energy production in the cell, mobilize the stem cells, improve your diet. There are a number of supplements that are absolutely going to be of help here. Exercise. When you exercise, you're telling your body, hey, I'm alive. I want to stay young and healthy. You're turning on genes associated with youth. Exercise helps to maintain cognition. No getting around it. Stay mentally active. If you're retired, board games, reading books, having hobbies. I know when I retire in 100 years, I'm going to still be inventing because I want that mental stimulation. And sleep. If you're not getting at least 6 hours of sleep per night, you're headed for trouble. Lack of sleep is associated with Alzheimer's disease. Lack of sleep causes an increase in beta amyloid 2 protein, which is linked to Alzheimer's, increased risk. So if you're going for a very long period of time, months or years of lack of sleep, that's a huge concern. You have to resolve that problem. A couple things we can do here. X39 and X49. We've seen this now in our clinical studies. It improves cognition, no question about it. Carnosine. We have a fantastic study that we did with Dr. Tom Budzinski, Dr. Helen Budzinski, on using carnosine to reverse age-related cognitive decline. And of course, Shine and Dream for energy and for sleep. Now, I'd recommend that you take a beta-alanine supplement. 1 gram per day is enough. 500 milligrams is even okay. You find beta-alanine in red meat. So if you're not eating red meat, you may not be getting enough. And beta-alanine is a precursor to carnosine and to AHKCU, what X39 elevates. So I'd recommend beta-alanine. Creatine. This is interesting. We think of creatine as a muscle building supplement for bodybuilders. And that's true. It absolutely is. But creatine is a fuel for energy production. And in the human body, the brain and the heart use tremendous amounts of energy. So you can actually support the health of the brain with creatine. As we age, our brains will shrink. And one of the reasons is because of a lack of DHA, an essential fatty acid. You can get this from fish oil, from algae oil. And if you're not getting enough fish in your diet, like salmon, which would be rich in DHA, I would recommend that you supplement. There are nutrients out there that will improve cognition, like phosphatidylserine and cognizin. There's some other nutrients as well. We won't get into those now since there's so many. But DHA, omega-3s are by far the best supplement for supporting cognition. But I wouldn't overlook beta-alanine, creatine, and some of these others. Olive oil, again, I'd recommend because it helps manage the inflammatory process. Make sure you're getting enough exercise and sleep. And by the way, you could expect, if you're doing all of those things or a portion of them, let's say you're doing X39, X49, and supplementing with beta-alanine, our clinical studies show that you can get improvements in your memory and focus in as little as the very first week of use. Some people will take a little bit longer, about 3 weeks. But if you've been neglecting your cognition for many years, getting results the very first month is remarkable. So great news is that there's help. All right, what about muscle loss? What do we do here? Well, this is called sarcopenia. It's related to age, and by the time someone gets to the age of 70, they could have lost 35%, let's say, of their muscle mass. No getting around it. Lack of exercise is going to be single biggest contributing factor. If you're resistance training, if you're doing regular push-ups or weightlifting, anything that's, pull-ups, pick something, yoga, qigong, something that's regular exercise that's putting a resistance against the muscle, you are going to be helping to maintain your overall strength, bone density, and muscle mass. So you got to exercise. Now, if you're going to the gym, you're exercising at home, and you're not getting results, chances are that you have a low protein diet. You're not getting enough protein. As we age and the cells begin to shrink, you need more protein in your diet. It's more difficult to metabolize protein. You might need 40 grams of protein to turn on muscle protein synthesis, mTOR. You need enough of the amino acid leucine, 4 grams, if you're, let's say, over 50, to turn on muscle protein synthesis. So don't underestimate whether or not you're getting enough protein in the diet. Of course, overall poor nutrition is a problem, lack of sleep, the amount of time you need to rebuild muscle, and of course, low testosterone for men and women makes it about impossible to build muscle. So we want to look at all these things. Now, the good news is that no matter what your age, you can improve your health and vitality and improve your body composition. Doesn't matter. It may take a little bit more willpower if you're a little bit older, if you're over 60 or 70 and you've been out of shape for a long time. Could take a lot of support. Maybe you hire a personal trainer or have people in your life that support you in this journey, but you can do it. It's been proven. Again, here what we want to do is improve mitochondrial function, improve stem cell activity, improve your diet, get enough protein, get that testosterone and growth hormone up, use supplements where needed. You got to exercise. You've got to do resistance training. Even if it's just push-ups and squats, 10, 15 minutes of exercise, maybe that's all you need to get started, and make sure you're getting enough sleep. Okay, so we have a lot of data here on patching. Obviously, X39 and X49 are the go-to products that we've studied the most on improving body composition. But we've also got a great study on the use of carnosine. Carnosine is a mild anabolic, so it's muscle building. And we see that just with carnosine, within the first week of use, you're going to have an improvement in strength and stamina. So you can turn this around very quickly. Please make sure, though, if you haven't exercised in a while, take it slow. When I was younger, my mom's uncle died because he went to his doctor and the doctor said, you've got to go out and lose some weight, so start exercising. And he went out and went for a jog and he dropped dead. It was heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. He was a wonderful man. And to have that happen was completely unnecessary. So if you haven't exercised in a long time, please take it slow. Work with your healthcare practitioner. Use a personal trainer. Get back into shape. You didn't get out of shape overnight. You're not going to get in shape overnight. This is a lifelong commitment. So look at where you want to be in 3 months or 6 months, not in a week. Take it slow, but you can do it. And the patches and the aromatherapy mists are definitely going to help out. Okay, so we've covered that. Protein, here would be a guide. And over the years, I've spoken with many bodybuilders and athletes. To put you in the ballpark, you could simply take your body weight in pounds and multiply by 80%. And then say, okay, based on that number, I'm going to take 1 gram of protein. So for a man that weighs 200 pounds, that'd be about 160 grams of protein per day, divided up over, let's say, 4 servings. If you're trying to be a bodybuilder, well, that's a different story. Now you're taking hundreds of grams of protein. But that would be a good start. I mean, you could also shoot for something like 200 grams of protein, may not be necessary. And again, you're spreading that out over a period of 4, 5, 6 meals. We talked a little bit before about the master amino acid pattern as a way of getting your branch chain amino acids. Whey protein is preferred because it's high in the branch chain amino acids. But you could simply take the amino acid leucine. Let's say you're a vegan and you don't want to take whey protein. You could take a pea protein, add leucine to it, and now you've got the same value as whey protein when it comes to muscle building. So the branch chain amino acids, especially leucine, are responsible for turning on muscle protein synthesis. You've got to have that in your diet. Beta-alanine, again, supports AHK and carnosine levels. So beta-alanine is anabolic, as is creatine. 5 grams per day is sufficient. And creatine is definitely a safe and natural muscle builder and complements everything else. Okay, how do you help someone with arthritis? and we're going to move a little bit more quickly here, we're taking a lot of time. Okay, so again, this is a medical condition. Talk to your healthcare provider. But we know arthritis is because of a decline in the function of the immune system. Definitely a decline in mitochondrial function because we've got elevated levels of inflammation, poor nutrition, and poor sleep. So what do we do here? Well, again, we wouldn't normally think about it this way, but we've got to improve the way your body makes energy. If you're not making enough energy, you're just not going to be able to heal. Goes without saying, we've got to improve stem cell function. We've got to improve the immune response. It's how people get arthritis in the first place, and get the inflammation under control. I'm also going to recommend here the blood type diet and getting a test to find out, are you eating something that you're allergic to without your knowledge? If you simply get the foods you're allergic to out of your diet, your inflammatory response is going to improve. So your diet, what you're eating today, may be undermining your results. Also, you want to improve your circulation. That means elevating nitric oxide and, of course, getting proper sleep. So what do we do here on the patches? Well, we know that X39, glutathione, and EON help to manage the inflammatory response. They're going to be invaluable for helping someone with arthritis. We're not treating it, we're managing pain. IceWave, so you could just simply put IceWave on the bottom of the feet, X39 on the back of the neck, and you could put glutathione and EON near the pain. All those protocols would be fine. And then the aromatherapy mists, again, to help with energy and sleep. I definitely recommend an NAC supplement to make sure you're getting enough cysteine so you can make your glutathione. Curcumin and olive oil are natural anti-inflammatories, so those are tools you can use that have a proven clinical background as being natural, being used in the natural relief of arthritis. Copper, by the way, again, copper bracelets were used for a reason in the treatment of arthritis. Copper improves your resistance to pain. And copper, of course, we know combines with GHK as a natural anti-inflammatory. Another way to elevate glutathione, and also another antioxidant in the body, SOD, is going to be with sulforaphane, and you get that from broccoli sprouts, amongst other sources. There are supplements for this, or you can just include broccoli and broccoli sprouts in your diet. But they're natural ways of elevating glutathione. Nitric oxide. Many reasons why you'd want to elevate that, but it can be very valuable in getting arthritis under control and improving circulation. And taking a garlic extract, like 800 milligrams a day with 2 grams of vitamin C, will as much as triple nitric oxide levels. So we'll segue then, since we're talking about nitric oxide, let's talk about erectile dysfunction. Now, I get this question answered sometimes. This is kind of embarrassing for men if they're having a problem getting erections. They don't want to ask this question publicly on a conference call. So let's talk about it. I know there are men that are suffering with this. What do you do? First thing is, if you have erectile dysfunction, it definitely is an indicator of a more serious health condition, cardiovascular disease, almost all the time, if you were playing the odds. Not necessarily, though, so I don't want to scare you, because there is a chance that you could have erectile dysfunction and it's completely psychological. you want to talk to your doctor about this and some of these recommendations. So we want to talk a lot about poor circulation. Sometimes men tend to think that this is a decline in testosterone, but clinically, you can elevate testosterone levels in men and not improve erectile function. And this is because of the cardiovascular or psychological component. But that said, we do want to elevate testosterone because it will improve libido and decrease estrogen. So we'll obviously want to be looking at nutrition and sleep and exercise. So what do we do here? Well, we're going to talk about heart issues in a moment, but obviously we've got to improve circulation, and it's way more comprehensive than simply elevating nitric oxide. Elevating nitric oxide is important, but I'd look at it as a Band-Aid. You've got to get to the root of the problem. Improving hormone profile, elevating testosterone is going to be important, elevating growth hormone, and of course, exercising to reduce body fat. When you've got body fat around the middle, you're going to have elevated levels of estrogen. And so that's the compelling reason to go on a diet and exercise. Melatonin, of course, is going to be linked to testosterone, and you're going to get increases in testosterone at night. So improving your sleep is important. So because erectile dysfunction is a medical condition, we don't make any claims that our patches treat or cure this disease. These recommendations here are simply for improving overall health. If you're improving the overall health of the body, then the other recommendations are going to provide you with better results. Okay, so there are a number of ways to elevate nitric oxide. The most common way that people know of is by taking an arginine supplement. And that's okay, depending on how you're doing it, but I don't think it's necessarily the best way. An overall good way to do it is, as we've talked about, garlic extract and vitamin C. 800 milligrams garlic extract to 2 grams of vitamin C does a wonderful job at elevating nitric oxide. Pycnogenol, about 100 milligrams, has been shown to elevate nitric oxide and improve erectile function. Black ginger is another option for improving erectile function. Tongkat Ali, 100 to 400 milligrams daily will improve testosterone levels. And so that could be a good supplement. Taurine, we talked about that a little bit before, 3 to 5 grams per day, not only is great for anti-aging, but is shown in clinical studies to support testosterone levels. And of course, as we do our resistance training and we change our body composition, we're going to be improving our hormone profile. Now, one thing we might not normally think about is the role of sugar to testosterone. But if you have a diet high in sugar, I can guarantee that you're going to have lower testosterone levels. One interesting way of elevating testosterone and improving erectile function, you can find this in the book, The 4-Hour Body. Really interesting book, by the way, by Tim Ferriss. And so what he recommends in his adventures is to take grass-fed beef, eggs, grass-fed butter, and almonds about 24 hours prior to having sex. There's a specific formula in his book. Because of copyright, I won't get into the details here, so you can go and read his book to find out, or you can simply find it online. You can Google this and you'll find it. But anyway, I mean, what he's doing here is causing very significant increases in cholesterol, which will drive up testosterone. That might be okay for someone in their 20s or 30s, might not be okay for someone in their 50s or 60s. So consult with your doctor. All right. That's a good segue then into how do we help someone with heart problems? Again, very serious medical condition here. Talk to your doctor. And heart disease, of course, is the #1 killer. And lots of reasons why people could have a heart problem. So let's get into this and talk about it. You want to talk to your doctor about improving circulation in the short term and improving hormone profile. But, what can we do long term? We know that drugs are not going to be an answer long term as far as getting rid of the problem. And surgeries definitely save people's lives, but most people don't want to go through bypass surgery. So what can we do here? For the health of the heart, not for treating heart disease, for the health of the heart, I'd recommend X39, X49, and carnosine. Now, one thing you could talk to your doctor about in terms of a patch protocol is using carnosine to relax the heart. You can try applying 2 or 3 patches around the heart. One simple protocol you can do with your doctor is to take your index finger and simply press around the heart. And when you find a point of pain, apply a patch there. And you might end up with 2 or 3 patches. And then keep track of your blood pressure and or if you're on an EKG and see how you do. You may find that helps your heart relax. So what do we want to do here if someone has, let's say, hypertension, elevated blood pressure, heart disease, and this is associated with arterial blockage? Cardiologists are not trained to be looking at some of these natural solutions. One that goes back to the 1930s is buckwheat seed extract. There's only one company I know of that makes it. It's standard process, and the name of the product is called Cyruta. And it's been shown that this will remove arterial plaque and restore blood flow. So when we talk about elevating nitric oxide or taking a natural blood thinner, taking aspirin, those are going to be things to do temporarily. What we really want to do is get the health of the arteries back. And you can do that with Cyruta. Another product that's been through clinical studies is pomegranate extract. A company called Life Extension sells that. Name of the product is called endothelial defense. Pomegranate extract, clinically proven to remove arterial plaque. So you'd want to do that over a period of 6 to 9 months using those supplements. And of course, get an ultrasound, get diagnostics to see where the health of your arteries are at, so you know for sure. Vitamin D has been shown to improve the elasticity of the arteries. So you might have a vitamin D deficiency. So talk to your doctor about, 5,000 IUs per day of vitamin D. Niacin is very common, used for arterial health. You're going to need to talk to your doctor about that because you can get into very, very high doses of niacin, which produce a niacin flush. Talk to your doctor. Potassium. One way to naturally lower blood pressure is potassium, 1,000 milligrams per day. You could have too much sodium in your body and not enough potassium in your diet. So eating things like bananas and seeds and avocados might not be enough. You might need to take 1,000 milligrams of potassium citrate per day. Critically important if you have high blood pressure. Beta-alanine, of course, helps elevate carnosine, which supports the health of your heart. NAC will get elevate glutathione, which helps manage the inflammatory process. And again, nitric oxide, different methods of improving blood flow. Magnesium threonate These three specifically, if you've got high blood pressure, please talk to your doctor about this combination. Let's say 200 to 400 milligrams daily of magnesium threonate, 100 to 800 milligrams daily, 900 milligrams of algae cal, and 3 to 5 grams per day of taurine. These will calm the nervous system, help with muscle contractions in the heart, and naturally reduce blood pressure. Did you know that clinical studies show that taurine is a natural antihypertensive, natural blood pressure medication, the amino acid taurine? So if you're suffering with high blood pressure, please, and you're on medication or not, please talk to your doctor about this combination. How do you help someone with a viral infection? Well, unless you're a healthcare practitioner, have people see their doctor. This could be a chronic viral infection like herpes, shingles, cold sores, genital, could be COVID-19. Talk to your doctor about this. But there's a number of things that we can do with any of these viral infections. We want to generally improve the immune response, improve our diet, and use natural antivirals to slow down the rate of viral replication and kill the virus directly. Vitamin D is a great start. 5,000 IUs of vitamin D per day will make it more difficult for a virus to replicate. Copper is an incredibly powerful, strong natural antiviral, as is zinc and iodine. If you've got a chronic viral infection like herpes, you should be taking at least 1 milligram of iodine daily. There's a lower incidence of viral infections in Japan than other parts of the world because of all the iodine in their diet. So talk to your talk to your doctor about that. You don't want to take too much iodine per day. It could have an adverse effect on your thyroid. So work with your doctor to find the proper amount, but 1 milligram daily should be okay. You could take more. Glutathione is a very powerful antiviral, so take your NAC. Over 70%, it's around 76, 78% of people that take BHT for 6 to 8 weeks never have a herpes infection again. And so you can look online about this. It would be 1 to 4 grams of BHT daily. There's some bad information on BHT on the internet. It gets a bad rap. It's actually a natural antioxidant. It's found in plankton. But it was well known back in the 70s that BHT could be a very effective treatment for herpes, a very powerful natural antiviral. Melatonin. So if you're getting enough melatonin, if you're sleeping at night, extremely powerful antiviral. And ozone therapy. Ozone, very powerful natural antiviral. Time for some water. Okay, and we talked about Matthias Rath before. He is well known as a researcher, medical doctor, for treating cancer naturally. And one of the things that he found is that you could completely block the ability of a cancer cell or virus to spread by this combination: lysine, proline, vitamin C, and EGCG, which is found in green tea. So if you have cancer or chronic viral conditions, speak with your doctor about this combination. Might be 2 grams of lysine, 2 grams of proline, or more per day, few grams of vitamin C daily, and then green tea. All right, how would you help someone with a chronic wound? Again, this is a medical condition. We're running late here on time, so we're going to go through this rather quickly. But basically, for chronic injuries, chronic wounds. You want to improve the stem cell activity, get the inflammation under control so the stem cells can do their job, improve circulation, improve your diet, hydrate, and supplement. So these are the patches that we would normally associate with chronic injuries. Managing the inflammatory process and getting the stem cells to activate. You have to make sure you're getting enough protein in the diet. Otherwise, your body does not have the raw materials that it needs to repair an injury. You need to manage the inflammation. We've talked about that in great detail, so I won't go back through that anymore at this time, but these are some of the supplements that can be useful in managing inflammation and supporting wound healing. Now, another way to do this is to improve growth factors. So colostrum, our first food, has been used in clinical studies to support wound healing. It's got growth factors like IGF-1. Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy improves microcirculation, so you could talk to your doctor about that for wound healing. Going in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, very valuable for improving number of stem cells in the body. Of course, getting your proper sleep, resistance training will elevate growth hormone, and fasting will help to get rid of dead, damaged tissue, making room for healthy tissue. How do we help someone with a blood sugar problem is a very common question. This is a medical condition, and we're not going to talk about treating a medical condition, but if you're someone that's suffering with type 1 or type 2 diabetes, there's a specific antioxidant that you can use, alpha lipoic acid, for helping to reduce these high blood sugar levels. Again, speak with your doctor and talk to them about some of these recommendations. Now, we want to support antioxidants in our body with our patches, such as X39, glutathione, and Eon. We can manage pain with energy patches and manage blood sugar by improving fat burning. But really, the best way to do this is by increasing alpha lipoic acid. So I met a doctor that was doing this research, and by taking 300 milligrams of controlled release alpha lipoic acid daily, 4 times per day, blood sugar levels can come down by over 60%. So this would be a go-to. You can get the anti-aging benefits by taking acetyl L-carnitine. Definitely, you've got to modify your diet. Go on a high-protein, moderate fat diet. Get those carbohydrates down. And chromium is another great supplement for helping to manage blood sugar. There's lots of ways of doing it. But these would be some of the things that I would try first. All right, and finally, how do you help someone who is aging? And our goal here as a company is to stop and reverse the aging process. So we're all aging, right? So the way that we age is under our control to a degree. And this means that if we improve stem cell activity, if we manage the inflammatory process, if we exercise, if we hydrate, we have a healthy diet, we get rid of dead, damaged tissue, we can dramatically improve the way we age. And of course, we also got to get rid of some poor habits. If you're not exercising, please do. If you are consuming too much alcohol, if you're smoking, if you're not getting enough rest, you've got to get rid of those bad habits. It's up to you. So we've talked about this at great length in other presentations. that we have. But basically, some of the things under your control today is to improve the way our bodies make energy, improve our stem cell activity, reduce inflammation, exercise, use tools like intermittent fasting, and clean up your diet and hydrate, and you're going to have remarkable results. Okay, so X39, X49, absolutely the go-to products for improving the way we age and reversing parts of the aging process. We also know there's great data on EON in terms of how we use EON to reduce inflammation. And elevated levels of inflammation is definitely going to lead to faster aging. Glutathione, how long you live, is directly associated with your body's levels of glutathione. That's been proven in clinical studies. People that live to be over 100 years old have elevated levels of glutathione. Lots of things here we can supplement with. Make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet. Take your olive oil daily, 2 or 3 tablespoons. Turn on those sirtuin genes, which are associated with long life and health. Make sure you're getting enough cysteine in your diet, either through supplementation or through dairy products. Make sure you're getting enough copper for your copper peptide. Make sure you're getting essential minerals like your calcium, potassium, magnesium. You can take a niacin supplement to support your body's levels of NAD, which is definitely associated with long life and health. You might want to take a beta-alanine supplement to elevate your carnosine levels. Carnosine is associated with keeping your telomeres lengthened so we can extend lifespan. Improving mitochondrial function with the energy patches and lipoic acid and acetyl L-carnitine. And of course, this very interesting association between taurine and long life. And diet and exercise. And before we end, we should mention the number one way to slow down aging. There is one thing you can incorporate into your daily life that is clinically proven to reduce stress and improve the way we age, and it's by loving one another. Be in a loving, committed relationship. Love your family. Love others who don't love you. Respond with love. Not only is it great for our planet and our society, humanity, but you're doing something for your health. By loving, you are reducing anger, frustration, hatred, and that reduces stress and anxiety and inflammation and actually improves the quality and health of your muscles and everything in your body. So let's all work to love one another more in the coming year. So thank you so much for spending a lot of time with me today to go through all of this. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've had a wonderful holiday season, are excited about the new year, and Happy New Year to all of you. God bless.